Tonight, we expose something so shocking, so fundamentally un-American, it will make your blood boil. A high-ranking FEMA official who has now been identified as Marni Washington, who tried to hide behind the name of Mariana Gatlinburg, well, she ordered disaster relief workers at FEMA to skip homes with Trump signs. Let that sink in. At least 20 American families devastated by Hurricane Milton were denied help because of their political beliefs. FEMA claims they're horrified, but here's what they won't tell you. This wasn't just one rogue official. This was the deep state showing its true colors. And just like FEMA's mask has fallen, showing their true nature, your skin can reveal signs of weakness and fatigue. These government agents may discriminate, but nature doesn't. We all face the same battle against aging. After age 20, your body's collagen production drops dramatically, just like our institution's integrity under Biden. But while we can't trust FEMA, you can trust this revolutionary collagen formula. Unlike typical supplements, it combines 5 critical types of collagen to keep you strong and resilient. Do your body a favor. Get it today while it's 51% off only at healthwithgary.com. Plus, if you order today, you'll get free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free new ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping. Once again, that's healthwithgary.com. Or simply click the link down below. Okay, this is probably the most important story, other than the fact that we've been tracking how the Pentagon is already working to try to push back against so-called Trump orders. But this is very dangerous. This shows the twisted internal feelings and directives of members of our own government. FEMA, the agency that is tasked with protecting the United States in times of national distress. An agent of FEMA, what happened? She decided that she was going to put out the directive to deny Trump supporters support, effectively leaving Trump supporters to die. We have this here. This came from the Daily Wire. I've got lots of reaction. But first, let's take a look at how Fox covered this.
Lawmakers now confirming a report that says after Hurricane Milton, a FEMA supervisor told disaster relief workers in Florida to avoid homes with Trump signs in their yards. FEMA says it believes the incident is isolated, and the supervisor who gave the anti-Trump order is no longer in that role. The senior national correspondent Kevin Cork is live in D.C. with what we're learning about this tonight. Kevin, good
evening, Trace. Quite a story. Imagine if you'd been impacted by a major storm, hoping the government, the one that you send your taxpayer funds to, will aid in your recovery, only to discover that if you support Donald Trump, they're going to ignore you altogether. And that's apparently what happened in the great state of Florida, where a FEMA supervisor allegedly told workers in a message to avoid homes advertising Trump as they canvassed Lake Placid, Florida, to identify residents who could qualify for federal aid. And tonight, credit where credit is due, that FEMA official has been removed from her role by the agency. In a statement to Fox News Digital, a FEMA spokesperson said the agency is deeply disturbed, noting the official who gave the instruction was given no direction to tell teams to avoid these homes. Quote, while we believe this is an isolated incident, we have taken measures to remove the employee from their role and are investigating the matter to prevent this from happening ever again.
Okay, well, what about when FEMA prioritizes diversity, equity, and inclusion? I mean, we've been tracking it. James O'Keefe, he's exposed this. When they prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion, they are embedding their racist ideology and their hatred into and institutionalizing it. So then you get these people like this woman here. This is the woman who thinks that she's going to go ahead and execute that directive, because that's how she interprets it. The FEMA supervisor who instructed disaster relief to avoid homes advertising Trump has been relieved of her duties. Here she is. This is from Matt Wallace, the fat FEMA official fired for ordering staff to skip over providing aid to Trump's supporter. This is her right here. She has now been officially identified. The Oversight Committee has now invited FEMA Administrator Criswell to testify at a hearing to answer for the agency's response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton and to investigate why hurricane-impacted Americans were discriminated against for supporting President Trump. So now this is getting even bigger. Here's the letter that was sent by James Comer, and it is getting even bigger. Okay, so look at this. This is how we discovered who she was. Trump-hating Marni Washington assigned to the Highlands region as Crew 49 lead. This is the official FEMA Disaster Survivor Assistance chart. And if we zoom in, you can see right there, Crew 49 lead T, Marni Washington, right there. Okay? Now, if we take a look at the text messages that were sent, however they were distributed, here it is. This is from the Daily Wire. They're the ones that broke the story. But if you look at the top, it says Crew 33 best practices. Avoid homes advertising Trump. Avoid homes advertising Trump. Apparently now she has two names. It's being reported she changed her name on LinkedIn instead of deleting her account like a normal person would do. She simply changed her name. She was probably getting searched up. People were probably sending her messages. And, well, not anymore. You can't hide. Ron DeSantis is investigating as well. The blatant weaponization of government by partisan activists in the federal bureaucracy is yet another reason why the Biden-Harris administration is in its final days. At my direction, the Division of Emergency Management is launching an investigation into federal government-targeted discrimination of Floridians who support Donald Trump. New leadership is on the way in D.C., and I'm optimistic that these partisan bureaucrats will be fired. Oh, yes, well, she was fired. Here is her certificate of completion, Marni Washington. She hates Trump supporters and used her position in FEMA to order her group not to give support to those who had Trump signs or flags. Oh, my goodness. Feels good to knock out another certification before the new year. Victory loves preparation. But you hate people simply because they support President Trump, and you're not going to provide the support that FEMA is directed to provide because of a Trump sign? This goes beyond accountability being fired. This is criminal. This could, maybe it's attempted murder. If you search for Marni Washington on LinkedIn, you can see her picture and her job history, currently employed with FEMA, in addition to a couple other gigs in the name. Her name is now Mariana Gatlinburg. Yeah, where'd you get that name? Donald Trump Jr. weighing in. This is outrageous, even for the Democrats in charge, and should be criminal. These people should be ousted from FEMA, government, and society. A full investigation is in order. FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. Mariana Fall tweeting as well. FEMA supervisor removed over controversial Trump-related directive. Marni Washington, FEMA supervisor, has been relieved of her duties after reportedly instructing disaster relief officials to avoid homes advertising Trump. According to an official statement, Washington allegedly communicated this directive both verbally and via Microsoft Teams to relief workers in Florida after the hurricane. That is sourced by Fox News. Oh, Judge Jeanine, she's not happy either. Here she is in a late night post. She didn't even have time to put her makeup on. She was so pissed.
Now, I get up and read at all hours of the night. What I just read makes me crazy. A FEMA manager directed that employees under that person's direction avoid all homes where there was any support or any signage supporting Donald Trump. So you've got the Federal Emergency Management Agency official saying, do not help people who support Donald Trump. Now, if you ever questioned whether or not they hate us, whether it was just, hyperbole and exaggeration, and they really didn't mean it, they literally put it in writing in a team chat to avoid homes where Hurricane Milton destroyed areas where people supported Donald Trump. The people on the left are haters. And I'm telling you, if Kamala Harris got elected, I don't know where we would be. But thank God for Donald Trump. And this woman has not been fired. She is no longer in that role, quote unquote. I don't give a damn. She needs to lose her job.
Apparently her job has been taken from her. We've got some more on this. This is insane. Now, Daily Wire, they're the ones that broke this story, so kudos to them. This is Fox and Friends Weekend co-host reacting to their news.
Wire. Now, according to the Daily Wire, this is a staggering story. FEMA officials, which should be helping everybody, directed hurricane relief workers in Florida to avoid certain homes that had Trump signs in their lawn. Okay, here's the report according to the Daily Wire. A FEMA supervisor told workers in a message to avoid homes advertising Trump as they canvassed Lake Placid, Florida, to identify residents who could qualify for federal aid. Internal messages viewed by the Daily Wire reveal. The supervisor, Marni Washington, relayed this message both verbally and in group chat used by the relief team. Multiple government employees told the Daily Wire. So now hurricane relief also politicized.
Wow. Yeah, no question. And by the way, there was already outrage that so many FEMA funds had been raided to give to illegal immigrants. And so obviously people are saying we gotta take the politics out of something as essential as emergency relief. I mean, this is insane. And by the way, the FEMA spokesperson has a statement. FEMA helps all survivors, regardless of their political preference or affiliation. And we are deeply disturbed by this employee's actions. While we believe this is an isolated incident, we've taken measures to remove the employee from their role and are investigating the matter to prevent this from happening ever again. The employee who issued this guidance had no authority and was given no direction from anyone to tell teams to avoid these homes. And we are reaching out to the people who have not been reached as a result of this incident. Will, I'm surprised that, you see lots of agencies getting politicized. This is one you really wouldn't expect.
Well, it's not just... To me, my focus is less on FEMA and more, I would imagine this is the case in every government agency. And what it does is show the depth of the cancer inside of our government. Yeah. And that you have to root out politicization at the highest levels, for example, of the DOJ. But you have to also understand there's a bureaucracy under every one of these state departments where you have, foot soldiers who behave in the same manner as Merrick Garland. Right. And in order to really reform the bureaucracy, I actually think you are going to need like Elon Musk walking through the lobbies of Washington, D.C. with a sink in his hands. He's going to have to sit there with the Department of Government Efficiency and cut it down to the size you could drown it in a bathtub. Otherwise, this is where we are now.
This is where we are. Thankfully, this was exposed. Absolutely disgraceful that this would happen in America. Oh, man. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's more.
Has been removed from their role. Welcome back. A FEMA official has been removed from their role after a message shows the employee directing disaster relief workers to skip homes advertising support for President-elect Trump after devastating hurricane damage in Florida. Madison Scarpino is live with the very latest on this story. And Madison, are we learning what's happening to this employee?
Anita, we're still waiting to clarify the exact measures that have been taken. As you mentioned, they say that the employee has been removed from their role, but FEMA tells Fox they are deeply disturbed and horrified by this. And now FEMA, House Republicans, and Florida officials are all investigating the incident. And this all happened in Highlands County, Florida, back in October last month. The county was hit hard by Hurricane Milton and backed President-elect Trump by over 56% on Tuesday. The Daily Wire obtained private messages showing a FEMA official instructing workers there to avoid homes advertising Trump. In a system tracking applications, hurricane relief workers would enter. They made no contact with that resident, saying, quote, Trump sign no contact per leadership, according to the report. Now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is calling this a blatant weaponization of government and goes on to say with new leadership on its way to D.C., he's optimistic these partisan bureaucrats will be fired. And Senator James Lankford is another Republican calling for an investigation into this. He says, quote, "My office has already been in contact with FEMA about this. It is true. I'm grateful FEMA is taking action to address it, but we'll closely monitor to ensure this can never happen again. FEMA is there to help, not discriminate." But
oh my goodness. So imagine this. This was posted. Imagine your house is in ruins from a hurricane. All your family memories, passed down items, and the things that make us all feel like home is a special place are all gone. And this FEMA employee decides based on who you vote for whether or not to help you or not. Here is James O'Keefe revealing the DEI standards from a whistleblower inside FEMA that have basically become a cancerous sore inside that agency, leading to moments like we're seeing now.
Internet. My name is Kelsey Goodman. I'm here to blow the whistle on FEMA. There are still people that are missing. Rivers that were existing before have now turned into lakes. There are still communities without power, without water, without access to cell phones or internet. You can go on the FEMA website. The number one goal of FEMA is to instill equity in emergency management. It's not to save lives. It's not to create stronger communities that will weather future disasters. It's to instill equity.
It almost feels like I'm being asked to give my opinion on equity to the state, and I am not comfortable at all doing that.
Right now, we ask that you do it. You tell us how you did it, and the guidance is the guidance until you get further instructions.
Wow. That's where we're at, folks. Firing her is not the answer. Arrest and prosecute. She instructed FEMA disaster relief officials to avoid homes that were advertising Trump. Yeah, this is where we're at, folks. But there are investigations at the federal level with the Oversight Committee, as well as in Florida with Ron DeSantis. So this is not going away anytime soon. This is not the end of this story, and it's a story we will continue to track. So the FEMA scandal isn't just about discrimination. It's about the weaponization of government against the American people. While Governor DeSantis launches an investigation and Donald Trump Jr. calls for criminal charges, we have to ask, how deep does this rot go? Marni Washington has been removed, but she is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what happens when partisan activists infiltrate our emergency services. So here's my question to you, patriots. What should be the punishment for government officials who deny Americans help based on their political beliefs? Let us know in the comments below.